My name is Peggy Allen, and I'm excited about fermented things. About 15 years ago, I started learning about nutrition. It all started when a friend introduced me to Juice Plus, and I wanted to know more about enzymes and fermenting. And another friend showed me this cookbook, which teaches you all about it. So for 15 years, I've been adding goats to our family, making raw milk fermented products like cheese and kefir. We learned how to make kombucha, have made it daily for 15 years, and sauerkraut is my new love of my life. And so we're going to do sauerkraut and fermented vegetables. We'll start with talking about the type of fermentation I'm going to be doing. It is with raw milk whey. And you've got to find somebody that's got goats or cows and uses the raw milk in this way so that they have the whey available. And Celtic sea salt. And so we're going to make it here while you watch. The first thing we're going to do is the sauerkraut, and got a small, kind of medium small head of lettuce, not lettuce, cabbage. And you peel the outer leaves off. It's washed, and I'm going to quarter it. And then I'll start just shredding it with a mandolin. I cut things up in different ways with a grater. I have a food processor I use sometimes also. But when you have a very tight head of cabbage, works really good with a mandolin. And I just quarter it and cut the harder section out of the middle and put that to the side. You're going to hand cut those. So this is what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to run it back and forth on the mandolin while it grates down into there. And it makes a real nice, fine grate. If you use a grater like you do for carrots or beets, it's too small. This is like shredded real nice, and it goes a lot faster. See right there? Goes a lot faster than if you were to cut it by hand. But some of this we are going to have to cut by hand when we get down too close to the blade. So I just work with these until they get really down there. Then I'm going to hand it over to Diana, and she's going to cut it on the cutting board over there. Okay, I'm going to put that over there for her. I'm going to do the next ones. Now, this amount is going to all smush down into a 1 quart container. You want to have containers ready, washed, ready to go. And I've discovered I like the canning lids that come with them. There are other lids, the white ones and the black ones. They don't seal down as tight as you want them to, because this 3-day method of lacto-fermenting sauerkraut, which is wonderful because it goes so much more quickly than your typical sauerkraut, needs a tight-fitting lid. So the white ones just don't tighten down enough. It lets gases escape. You want that lid to be really tight. Okay, so Diana's going to cut those smaller pieces for me. Get them ready while I finish up this cabbage. And we're going to put carrots and beets in this one. This is an example of just the sauerkraut with nothing else in there but the whey and the salt. And this right here is cabbage with beets and carrots in it. You can see what a rich color it is. And it's the variety, because I marked it on top, I made it with ginger and turmeric. So it's got flavors in there that normally you wouldn't find in this kind of sauerkraut. And believe it or not, I brought this to show everybody because you can actually go to Sam's and get their cabbage mix and pound it down with salt and whey, put it into a canning jar, and you can make sauerkraut without having to go through all of this time. So if you are on a time budget, do it this way. It tastes just as good. And so variety is a really good thing. So we make all kinds of fermented stuff. And we can have it with different meals. Lacto-fermented vegetables as well as fruits, because you can find recipes for doing this with fruit. I have one that uses papaya. I have a recipe for a spinach, cabbage, blueberry sauerkraut, which is just fabulous. So here's another piece to chop up for me. They're designed to eat with other foods, to complement foods. Especially good are cucumbers when you lacto-ferment them. And I'm gonna read over here. They are good to eat with meats because they will dissolve precipitates of uric acid, which meats have a lot of, sausage and heavy meats. So if you have somebody who's fighting gout or stones, they will help dissolve that and prevent it. So it is a great thing to have ferments at every meal to add to your plate. Okay, so I'm on my last one of this here. And this is all going to fit into a quart jar with no problem. Because when you start pounding it, you can either grab it with your hands and squish and bruise it that way, or you can use a wooden spoon or another type of mallet that you pound it with. We have this particular billy club that we use because sometimes we'll make enough sauerkraut to fill up like 8 quarts. So we have a big container, so I'm going to do that. Give that to Diana. And so here you got all of that's going to fit in that quart jar. And while she's doing that, I'm going to get a carrot and add that. I'll peel it. It's better if you don't have the dirt that would be, found in the cracks of the carrot in your mix. And I'm going to also use a purple carrot. And we're going to grate these into a glass jar. I'm going to have Diana do this. And I'm going to get rid of this one. While she does that, I'm going to do this. And we're going to put ginger also into this sauerkraut. Give it a little spice. Ginger is a wonderful thing to add to foods, especially if you're making fermented foods, because it helps nutrients be absorbed by your body. It's an assistant to absorption of all kinds of vitamins. The C's, the D's, the B's, everything. So she's going to grate a little bit of this for me also. When she gets there. And I'm going to take this cabbage that she sliced, put it in there. And our recipe calls for 4 tablespoons of whey. So this whey came from making feta cheese. And you can get whey from making also kefir, which is really good because it has a lot. So I'm going to do 4 tablespoons of whey right in there. And we will be adding the grated carrots and also a grated beet. That's 3 and 4. And we're going to use 1 tablespoon Celtic sea salt. This is gray Celtic sea salt. And I've chose this kind because I read a scientific report on the comparison of sea salts. And this has the most minerals in it. And it's kind of like a rounded tablespoon. Doesn't have to be flattened off. This is not an exact science. Okay, so, and I'm going to peel this outer skin off of the beet also. And she's going to grate that for me too. This is where a food processor comes in handy, grating things. But since we were just making enough to put into 1 container, felt like the food processor was like overkill. So we're gonna.
If you're gonna grate it, you should have left it whole.
Left it whole?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's easier to grab. This way.
You get closer to your knuckles.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, while she's doing that, I'm gonna just toss this around. Now you saw that the sea salt I had was kind of a large grain sea salt, but it doesn't take it long to actually start melting into the mixture because this cabbage makes its own juice. You don't have to add any water. Okay, so this is my pounder, and I just will pound it like this until it begins to, until the cells sort of begin to break open and there's more liquid in there now. I'm gonna wait for her to get me her grated things.
There's enough to do for that.
Okay. There goes the carrots and some beets, and she's gonna do a little bit more. I probably should have brought more graters.
You need one? I have another grater.
Yeah, you get. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna grate some of this ginger in there. Ginger is kind of fibrous, so you want to keep it from getting all the fibers in there. And it doesn't take much, like 1 teaspoon of the ginger is all you want.
1 teaspoon or tablespoon?
1 teaspoon. There we go. I love my open grater. Diana loves her grater right there. She's, whatever you're used to using is what you need to use. Okay, sauerkraut is good, really healthy for you. It contains choline. Choline aids in the body's metabolism of fat. And acetylcholine is another thing that sauerkraut, raw sauerkraut. You can't go to the store and buy sauerkraut that's raw, mainly because the it is CDC says the food industry, when they sell it at the store, it has to be processed with heat. So you cannot find sauerkraut. Maybe you can find it at a farmer's market from someone who makes it. Diana's, definitely. But you can't go to get this at the grocery store. So make it or come and buy it from Diana because she's got the real thing. Okay, look at that color in there. Wow. And that's all we need. So I'm afraid I'm gonna knock the table down with pounding this. So Diana, you tell me if I'm getting a little bit too.
No, it's a pretty strong table.
Okay. So you pound it and you mix it and you pound it until you think you're not gonna do it anymore, okay? So pounding's important because you're breaking open the cellular system, causing the fluids to come out of your cabbage and carrots and things. And so everything is in here that we need. And you just mix it around. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm just mashing it, pounding it. Diana says she gets in there with her hands and squishes it all up. And that's a good way to do it, but I just never have done it that way, so I go back to the way I've done it. And I'm seeing a lot of liquid come out now. Woo, she's got more for me. And we're good. We may not get all of this into our jar, but it reduces in mass the more you pound it. You should pound it enough that you can really see it wilting and reducing in mass. If you know of someone who ever gets food poisoning, the thing that will absolutely stop it in about 30 minutes is to drink sauerkraut juice. The lactobacillus organisms completely destroy E. coli and other things that get in your gut and bother you. Bother your gut. No, it will not work with store-bought sauerkraut. It has to be raw sauerkraut. There's nothing beneficial about store-bought sauerkraut. Not a thing. And they're fooling you if they say that there is, because it's not good for you. Your body has to produce enzymes to digest anything that's not raw. So when you eat raw things, you're adding enzymes to your body's ability to digest. So your body is relieved and you will actually live longer the more raw things you eat, the more raw things you add to your diet. You are extending your own body's enzyme reserve. And so enzymes are all about life. They run every body function that your system has. So when you eat more enzymes, you'll be healthier, your body will work right, and you'll live longer.
So we have a question.
Okay.
We missed the first couple of minutes. Did you start with one head of cabbage?
One head of cabbage. Mm-hmm.
It was a small head, right?
It was a small head, but medium small.
Yeah.
It's about a pound and a half.
Pound and a half? Okay. A lot of times they're twice as big, and you will have to, consider that you're going to use more jars and more whey, more salt, with your volume being a lot more. Okay, so this is really pounded down, smaller volume. When we get it in the jar, it's just about going to fit. If we had used probably a smaller beet and less carrot, it would probably fit. Okay, so we're going to go to the jar now. And wide mouth jars are probably good. Diana's got a spoon. but this is what I found. So you just put it all in there, and about halfway you smash it down, and then you keep adding it. So this has ginger, beets, carrots, and cabbage all in there. And it's going to end up looking like this one. This is what this has in it. Okay, so I'm gonna use this and pound it down. And add more. I get my husband to pound the cabbage. He's got more going for him than I do. You can't be too concerned about mess when you're doing this. I usually grate things onto a newspaper, a big newspaper folded out on a counter, and then I give it all to the goats. It's going in there. Although we probably have enough for another pint.
I have a small jar, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet you we could fill up a pint jar with a little bit of this extra. But you want to fill it, packing it down as much as possible to about 1 inch to the top. It has to have 1 inch headspace. And we're doing it. Got another jar, but I'm still not completely to 1 inch mark, so it's just about all gone in there. You can see that I won't have what I have left is probably just that much right there. So maybe we'll put that in the jar later. Okay. So you can see as I'm pressing it down, airspace is coming out, and the liquid that it's created is now at the top of, and the vegetables need to be covered with liquid. When this is sitting on your counter for 3 days, so you kind of time it. If you do it in the evening, you'll want to put it in the fridge on the morning of the 4th day, so that it has 3 full days on your counter in your kitchen temperature. Shouldn't be too hot. If it's really, really cold, it may take 4 days and put it in the fridge at the 5th day. But a typical kitchen temperature of like 75 or 6 is really good. So you wanna clean off the edge and then cap it. And maybe we can use a clean paper towel to clean off the edge, or a clean dish towel to clean off the edge. It doesn't have to be super clean, but you don't want that to get all into the rings of your top. And it is kind of messy sometimes. There we go. Okay. And you just cap it and label it. You can see these. I've put a date on it. So, and then this one right here, I put like what was in it, the extra stuff that was in it, turmeric and ginger, because I like to make a lot of varieties. Now with the fermented vegetables that we're going to do, we're going to put other spices in it. We won't need this anymore. We're going to put comino seeds as well as mustard seeds in the fermented vegetables. We're actually making pickled vegetables. We're going to use cucumbers, cauliflower, carrots, kohlrabi, onion, garlic, and a little bit of ginger. Not much. We'll grate the ginger for that. Okay, so
You said cucumber, cauliflower, kohlrabi,
onion, garlic, carrot. Yeah. Okay.
Mix it up.
Yes, yes. So I'm gonna prep these veggies by, and you won't need the mandolin for this, by slicing them. They're gonna be thin, like pickles, like sliced
We
pickles.
have a question. Do you have to put the jars in hot water or some device to make the seal stronger?
No, it's just hand tightened, but nicely so it doesn't leak air. It's supposed to develop some pressure, but every day you open it and you release the pressure and you tighten it. And you can even try it. You can, at every point in the process, you can see how it tastes. Put in a clean utensil, get some out, and taste it. And when you like it, have some. You know, when it's ready to go, after 3 days, on the 4th day, you can eat it with a meal. The flavors increase and deepen. The longer they're in the refrigerator, they will last months in the fridge. But when you have a family and you're all eating this, it won't last long at all. They're very good. And this is a great way, pickled vegetables is a great way to get your kids to eat it because they will like cauliflower when it's pickled. It's softer and it tastes just like the pickles do, being in the same brine. Okay, so.
Another question. Can you use those rubber topped things? She goes, sorry, I forgot what the name is, on top of the jar to release the pressure.
Yes, they're like an airlock. Yes, you can. That's a real good system, and I just never have used it, but I know that some people, exclusively use airlocks, and actually it's a wonderful way to keep it. Okay, so I've got these ready to go, and we may be mixing up more than we need here also, so we'll have a little extra left over. Okay, Diana is gonna grate some carrots. We'll first peel them, and then we're not gonna grate them, we're gonna slice them. Everything's gonna be sliced except for this. That'll be a little bit of grating happening there. She's got the grater over there. So this has been washed, and the florets are cut off, and what you wanna do is just make them really small, because getting all of these in the jar with as little air space between them is the trick. So you want to cut these cauliflower pieces very small, not big, and they don't have much of a tree trunk on them either. You want them to be pretty small. So I'm actually going to cut them off of the stem there so that they're small, but in pieces still. I don't want them to be, all mashed up.
Is that how thin you want them?
No, it's too thin. They can be twice as big.
Better?
Yes, yes. They should be like coins.
That's about a 1/4 inch diameter?
No. It's still like an eighth of an inch.
Eighth of an inch slice. Now, the pickles are a 1/4 inch slice. The cucumbers, which will be pickles. These are not as sour once you do them as store-bought pickles because we're not using vinegar. Again, this is lacto-fermented. Tons of nutrients for your body. Totally good for your digestive system. Totally good. If you have a stomach virus, eat the lacto-fermented vegetables. It'll be gone in just an hour. It'll be over with. What I like about this is the way our ancestors used to do food preparation. They didn't have refrigeration, and if they weren't going to cook and they needed to preserve, this is how they did it. They knew these things were good for them. Okay, so we got that. Okay, the kohlrabi's going to get peeled, and we've got enough of carrots right now. We're going to do a little bit of garlic. Our family likes garlic a lot, so I've already peeled these gigantic heads of garlic there, and we're gonna slice them into slices. The flavor of the garlic goes into the brine, and it is just fabulous. So Diana's gonna chunk that. Doesn't need to be super thin, just cut into chunks.
Better?
Yes, but small.
Thicker?
Small, yeah. So you're gonna dice it. So this is to be eaten with other foods. It goes fabulous with meat and potatoes.
That's mine first.
Oh, that's great. Yep. Okay, and I'm gonna do onion. You can do any kind of onion. This is a little bigger than the salad onions. Those are good also. So I've peeled the outer skin of the onion off, and I'm slicing it. And you just want a nice veggie mix that you could actually spoon out, and they're small and easy to eat a bite of. And we like onions. If you don't like onions, then put less in, or easier onion. Okay, these are ready to go. Kohlrabi is a great way to do this also. So we're done. We're done with this. Now we're going to just mix it up.
So is onion required?
No, it's not. These are simply the things we like together. Things that we like. And I think the cucumbers are essential. Now this really looks nice. It's colorful, and you know it's going to be good. And so you just put that in there, like you did the other. Could we have that little thing? Yeah, there we go. It helps. A bigger opening. And I'm just going to dump it all in as we go. I did not put any ginger in. That's okay. I didn't have the grater here. Okay, so I am going to use the other end of the spoon and push the vegetables down in any empty space that you've got. Because we're going to put the brine in there, and you need 1 cup of filtered water, 4 tablespoons of whey and 1 tablespoon of sea salt.
Okay, 1 cup filtered water, 4 tablespoons.
4 tablespoons of whey, the raw whey.
And 1 tablespoon.
1 tablespoon of Celtic sea salt. So I am pushing more veggies down in there. I'm actually picking out the cucumbers to put them in there. The cucumbers are the most beneficial item in this mix for you. I mean, you can make a whole thing with just cucumbers. And it's, you know, you're making your own pickles, and it's really, really good. Okay, so we're gonna mix up the brine. We've got our 1 cup of filtered water. We're gonna put it in a container. And here is our whey. And we're gonna do 4 tablespoons of the whey. And this is the recipe mix for 1 quart. If you want to make more than a quart, you'll need to make more whey. That was 4, right? I missed counting. And 1 tablespoon. Now, if you don't have the whey, the recipe I use says increase the salt. But the whey activates the fermentation quicker, and a higher content of salt is not necessary. Okay, so
Okay, if you don't have whey, add 2 tablespoons of salt, or how much salt?
2 tablespoons of salt. It will be saltier. Okay, so I'm swishing it around.
And then we had some questions. Is there a difference between whey supplement and the whey that you're using?
Yes, absolutely. The whey supplement is a dried, powdered, processed product that is not good for you. So it will not work. Okay, when we were at this stage of mixing up the vegetables, I forgot to put the comino seeds and the dill seeds in there. So I'm gonna add it right now and pour it in, and it'll filter down in there. Oh, we needed dill. And Diana is gonna get us some dill, some fresh dill.
The best part of walking outside the farm is just
We'll add the fresh dill later, Diana, if it takes you a while.
it's right here.
Oh, it's out. Oh, it's out there.
Outside the door, yeah.
She's got dill, so come get fresh dill from her. And I'm gonna wait and chop that up and put it in the rest of this
So
brine
normally those would
mixture.
be added just to the vegetables, not to the brine. The seeds you would normally just put in the
Yeah, as well as the dill.
Okay.
We just got ahead of ourselves because we're going fast at this. Right now, I could probably grate some ginger.
And then, another question. Can you buy raw whey and where at?
You can get it from Diana because I am supplying her with raw whey. Every time I make cheese, or if I ferment kefir so that the whey separates out, I keep it so I have gallons of it. And you only need 4 tablespoons, so she will give it to you. She's not selling it because I'm not selling it to her. We're giving it to you. So bring your own jar. Come to Diana's. You can buy veggies from her too, but she's got the whey to give you, and she would even give you some salt too if you have problems finding Celtic sea salt.
So I know in Harlingen, Crave Market sells the Celtic salt, and in McAllen, Sprouts.
Yes, you can find the right kind of salt in different places. Yep, there's nothing super special about it. It's just the best one to use because of the minerals that are in it.
Oh, that sounds good.
Okay, so I've got this dill. You chop it up, and I'm gonna put it in the little bit of brine there, so it'll wash down amongst all these things.
Well, we have a watcher from Wisconsin. She says she's not not able to come get their free stuff from Diana.
Oh, but you know, Wisconsin might have places that sell raw milk. And any raw milk provider is going to have raw cheese and whey.
Okay, if you wanna make it spicy, how about adding chili peppers and how many?
Absolutely. You can add whatever you would like. I'm gonna have Diana get me a little more filtered water, and we'll top it off with water. You want to cover the vegetables with water. And right now our water line is about right here, and you can just add a little more. There's a lot of freedom in this. You can add the veggies you like. You can add the spices you like. Like I said, I like turmeric, so I made one with turmeric. This one has sweet peppers in it, and
Can you move that?
yeah, this one right here has the same ingredients that this one has, with the addition of sweet peppers. It is colored because of the purple carrots, and in time this one's going to look just like this. So in 3 days this is going to look like this. The sweet peppers didn't add color. It's the carrots that Diana has that are so wonderful.
If you use orange carrots, does it change?
It will look like this with orange carrots.
More looking?
This has carrots and sauerkraut, cabbage. Okay, so most of my dill is at the top, and I'm going to push it down into the mixture, and then it'll slowly sift down to the bottom. Plus, you could also, once you get this sealed, you could invert it and shake it up and do whatever you want to do. At this point, shaking it, at any point, shaking it doesn't do anything, doesn't do any harm. So, okay, we're done. So this is lacto-fermented 3-day method, and you have, no, that's not there, here it is. You have the product ready to eat in 3 days. See, I'm just gonna shake it around until some of that dill, and I'll do this every day. I'm gonna release the pressure every day and put the cap back on, and about day 3, I start tasting it to see how the flavors taste with a clean fork or spoon, and then you stick it in your refrigerator, and you can eat it after that, but it increases in flavor and depth of tone the longer it stays in your fridge, and it will last for months in cold storage. Okay, we're done. Now the cleanup.
So did you introduce us?
Not, she introduced herself, but no.
All right. So I first want to apologize for, we actually had a guest come that never came to the market and thought we were open, and we wanted to make sure they had a good visit since they were coming for Lyford. But that also delayed me from introducing what we're doing. My name is Diana Padilla, and I am the president and founder of Hope for Small Farm Sustainability. Along with Kate, which is typing on the other side. Kate is a project manager, and we are bringing to you different things that'll help you with your immune system, as well as showing you things on the farm and other projects that we're going to be working on. If we'd like you to subscribe, am I correct? Follow. We will, I'm brand new at this. We would like you to follow us so that you can see when we bring new things to you, so that you can learn how food can be good for you and for your health. Hope is housed at Yahweh Farm in Harlingen, Texas, and we are open on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Monday. From 10 to 6, and we have a lot of these vegetables that we grow. We also help farmers learn how to become farmers, organic farmers, all natural farmers, chemical free farmers, because we need to care about the inside of our bodies as well as the environment and everything else. Our show for today is over, and I want to thank Peggy for coming and introducing all these really wonderful things that she does, and maybe she can teach us so that we can learn and save our food for when it's off
We
season.
do have a couple of questions at the end here. One is, are there any problems with those that are lactose intolerant?
No, absolutely not. Because in the fermentation process, the lactose becomes lactase and totally digestible. So, no problems with that.
And then the other question is, will the video be posted for others to watch? And are the notes typed out? No.
But we'll get them loaded.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll get the notes loaded, yeah.
On the H.O.P.E website.
So the answer to that question is yes, we will be posting the video again. I believe it's going to be on YouTube or
It'll be on YouTube, but on the H.O.P.E website.
and on our website, which is H.O.P.E, H-O-P-E, for F-O-R, S as in Sam, Frank, F as in Frank, S as in Sam, .org. We thank you very much and look forward to seeing you the next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.